you know?
It is a good range of amps. I just wish that they'd named them in a way that was not like impossible to follow, basically. Yeah. Okay, Greeny Burst. Oh, it was going so well. But you know what? If you pay Gibson 19 grand, they'll make you a good guitar. So that's something I learned today. Okay, I was lucky enough the other day to go down to Peach Guitars here just east of London and get a chance to play almost all of the Divided by 13 amps. And lucky for me, they put aside the Gibson custom shop room they've got there, which is full of a treasure trove pretty much of awesome guitars, some of which I got to play. And yeah, stacked up a few of the Divided by 13 amps. Now, if you don't know, Divided by 13 has been around for a long time. It's a great boutique amp company, and it was bought by Two Rock maybe 18 months ago. It was before Winter NAMM 24, because I saw them there at NAMM, but I'd never had a chance to play one. And to say that their entry into the UK market has coincided with a cost of living crisis is putting it probably lightly. So I haven't seen many around yet, unfortunately, because from what I can see, they're offering something pretty exciting. So anyway, I headed down there looking to figure out what exactly these amps are, and yeah, I was in for a good day. Now, if you watched my last video, you know there was a competition being run. You had to subscribe to the channel, comment on that video, and one of you would win this awesome new pedal from Great Eastern Effects, the Focus Fuzz Deluxe. That competition is obviously now closed because I'm going to announce the winner at some point in this video. I'm going to be keeping this one, but David at Great Eastern Effects is going to send out to the person who wins a brand new one in the box. So congratulations to the winner, and we'll get to that at some point. Now, you heard at the beginning one of the amps, the CCC something. Well, one thing I would say to Divided by 13 is your names are confusing. They don't help us out a lot. And I struggle to find on YouTube really a lot of stuff. There was one great video done by John at Peach, probably a couple of months back. He didn't do any talking in that video, did a lot of great playing, showing the amps, but I want to talk you through what I found out that day. And we're going to start with the one actually that John kept telling me if I was going to buy one, it should be this one. So I was keen to try this. This is the JRT 915. 915, meaning it's switchable between 9 watts and 15 watts, two different types of tubes. 6v6 is at 9 watts, EL84 is at 15 watts. There are no frills on this amp. there's a cut, there's a tone which is notched, and there's a volume. And boy, let me tell you, these amps have volume. So unfortunately on this one, I didn't hit record on my microphone. I took a little microphone with me, but luckily my shotgun mic on the camera picked it up. So we can hear my first impressions of this amp, and yeah. All right, let's start with the JRT. What are we in? EL84. I don't like EL84s, apparently.
Nonsense.
Should we see if we're blowing these mics? Oh, have I done? This guitar, this is worth knowing about. This is a one-off piece from NAMM made by Novo with an engraved metal plate on top. It sort of harks back to that Zematis sort of thing. And this has some cherry trees and a warbler and things on it. And it's stunning. And it doesn't make the guitar super heavy or anything. It's got a mahogany neck. It's got an ebony fretboard. It was beautiful to play. I mean, I haven't played a bad Novo before, but some are more special than others. This one is very special, especially priced too. The Fralin pickup was all right. Nothing bad really to say about it, but I'm sure there could be more inspiration found in others. But I enjoyed this guitar off and on throughout my time at Peach. Would you mind changing it to the 6v6 for me? Whatever you put out there is coming through that speaker. Just going to turn down the left-hand volume. I don't know what these volumes do. Okay, that was that, and then the right. Okay, clearly I didn't do all my homework because I wasn't 100% sure what was happening there with the volume, but I've just figured it out. The preamp on this has two separate pentodes, and they can be blended together using those two volume knobs. You know, those are preamp volume knobs. There's no master volume. Then you can switch between the different output tubes, the 6v6 for that more 50 sound, the EL84s for a bit more brightness and chime, that more 60s sound. So, you know, you didn't need to know that to make it sound good, but it's interesting to know what's going on. Okay, so it's got like a notched rotary knob for the tone, which I'm not feeling a huge amount of. A little bit more beef and present. this really like visceral, in your face, rock and roll feel to it. That's all I can say. That was on 6v6 at the end, which is my favourite. It's less, bit less present, but it just feels more familiar to me. And the volumes are only on, what, a quarter of the way up? It is loud. The only thing, I sort of want to turn them up and see what happens, but we might get kicked out. So we could do a bit, we could put them both on half. Not bedroom friendly. Okay, we're still in the 6v6, which I feel like this would live in 6v6 if it was mine. The volumes are still halfway. I'm waiting for someone to knock on the door. Just forget about the tone. Is there a tone knob? There is one. It doesn't do much. The cut, I just ignore cut. I don't know what it does. I reckon if you're someone that doesn't love to fuss about stuff, you want to turn up, plug it in, turn it on, get a drummer to start playing, and you just whack it up a bit, you'll be happy. It sounds like it sounds, and there's not a lot I want to do about that. It just sounds great. One more guitar to go. All right, Stuart's beautiful Huber with P90s, and we're still in the JRT, and we're on the EL84 because I thought I'd better give it a fair shot. Start that again. Okay, if any of you are cyclists, this is such a random analogy, but if you've ever been on a turbo trainer instead of out on the road, if you're on a turbo trainer, you can't stop pedaling. So it's like 10 times more tiring than actually cycling where you can coast along. That's what this amp is a little bit like, because every little piece of crap comes out, but you also, it's not really, it's not bigging you up as the player. You are raw. So yeah, depends whether you feel comfortable with that. And for me, first time I played today on a Monday, really, and it makes you feel a little bit like you need to go and practice more. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, right, take two. Oh, right, we've got what I think might be the most popular, I don't know, or most famous amp, AMW, which curiously is their British style amp. And you can see the settings, but here we go. think someone sneakily turned the volume down. Having a master on these amps is a blessing, because that first one was really quite something. What happens if we turn the gain a lot of the way up and turn the master down a little? Again, it's nowhere to hide, really. There's a lot more saturation though, thankfully. Let's see how quiet it can go. Oh. Darker, isn't it? Let's turn that treble up a bit more. I enjoy that.
It's great sounding.
Yeah.
It's got the thing which has put me off of it. You know, when I was thinking like, oh, maybe a divided by 13. That's the amp for me, really, because it's got an effects loop.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sweet like what are you?
Yeah, it's sweet.
You've got used to having an effects loop with something in it, that's the problem. Still bassy though, isn't it?
You see, for me, yes, the effects loop thing's a thing, but I did it yesterday. I can take the 2-rock and turn the effects loop off, and I'm still a very happy man.
Yeah, I mean, this is so different than what you're...
It's dry.
quite dark sounding though, for a lot of people. Yeah, I need to get a Strat in here quickly. Should I go and ask one?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Otherwise people are going to say you didn't play a Strat.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You should play that, but
No point playing it with this amp after that one though, is there?
no, probably not. But it is cool.
Let me stop this recording.
It's actually quite nice sounding.
It's very cool looking.
It's just based on first handling. It's one of the better Gibson Les Pauls I've played in a long time. It's heavy. It's got some heft to it.
Yeah.
But it's got balls. It's pretty damn resonant. This is quite nice. It's all right.
Putting myself into a Gibson.
It's all right.
There's a Levi Perry Master Strat on its way.
Have a tinkle on that. Because that's
It's not so hefty. I mean,
no, it's like don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not like a £10, but it's not a feathery one. It's got bars at the moment, but
that's nice.
it's got a nice voice.
I wonder if they're all like that.
It's really, I don't know if they are, but that one is. That's got a bit of character.
Levi Perry chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna have some lunch.
Okay.
I'll leave you with some chocolate.
Yeah, we're all good, man. We're all
If
good.
you need me, I'll be in the room.
Yeah, we're fine. We're just moosing around.
Alright.
This is a good Les Paul. Colour me shocked. No, it shouldn't be. It's fucking expensive.
Right, how much are those? I thought, are they not in the 5 range? Are they in the
5 or 6, I think.
Right.
Maybe just under 6. This annoys the shit out of me. Also, this as well. All this problem that you don't make around backplate. Tunes aren't aged either.
There's a darkness with this amp.
Have we tried the other input? Sorry, try the other input. I wonder if that brightens the whole thing up. A little bit.
It's just because it's not amplifying
thinner.
much bass.
It's got a nice wiriness in that.
Yeah, it feels a bit anemic.
Good work with something like
Such a Strat. I feel more comfortable.
that. Understandable.
So this is. Yeah, go. Why did you keep that in? The subtle differences between master builders make it jarring to play a non-Wilson though. Do you know what I mean? There are those differences in the necks. Very stratty this Strat though. There's some strats are more stratty.
That amp,
Yeah.
quite like. That amp of the Strat's really cool. It's really cool. I'll tell you what it's done. I know it's still got quite a lot of learning. It's still not bright.
Yeah.
But the truth is that doesn't matter anymore because everything's clearer and more
Exactly.
tight.
All right. Bless Peach and their stash of venerable master builds. This is the Levi Perry. need to be a strong man to work this trem. It goes with the action on this guitar though. This amp is brilliant, but it's a little bit bassy. And that's with the bass quite far down.
Could be the cab.
Yeah, it is in a big 2x12 in a corner. It's probably reflecting back all over the place. So.
Open back as well.
Sorry?
It's an open back as well, isn't it?
Open back. Thank God for my assistant today. Apologies. Again, it's a hard work amp, not in a bad way, but it's not doing the pretty for you. Like it feels like a Marshall in a way, like an old Marshall. But what I do like is I think they've got at this volume, my old Marshalls won't have this much bloom. You know, you'd probably have to put them louder. So there is something really cool about it. It's the guitar, it's not me. Amplified all the wrong notes.
But that Strat does actually sound like it's quite hard work.
It's a hard work Strat.
Although that was really nice at the end with the throbbing bass loop.
Oh yeah,
cool. Sounded really nice.
The amp is so the AMW39, the British one, the Marshall type, the EL34s, 60s to 80s Marshalls, as it says on their website. I really enjoyed this amp. You know, you can see two rocks next to me, but I really enjoy Marshalls. I've got a Friedman BE50, a Friedman Plex, a 1965 and a 1966 vintage JTM 45. So I do really enjoy that stuff. And I've got to say, I've already been speaking to Peach about maybe chopping in both Friedmans, getting at least one divided by 13. There was something just, it sort of gave me the Marshall sound in my head more easily than the Friedman Plex, which is a very accurate super lead representation, but difficult. And the BE50 is more modern, even though it's got some fantastic sounds that I love in it. The AMW39 just hits right in that spot. I can imagine plugging in my sort of Jimmy rig, you know, the wah and the Univibe, the fuzzes and all that stuff, and it would just be fantastic. And it just felt, I really wanted to just sit and play that thing. It was sort of really harmonic, but not too much. You know, it wasn't going into really modern stuff. But if you cranked the volume up, not the master, but the other one, you got that more 80s sound. But when you got it cleaner, it just sounded like the Marshall in your head from the late 60s, the early 70s. So yeah, it's got a master volume and it's got an effects loop. If you're interested in that, you might have heard Stuart and I mentioning effects loops a minute ago. I like to take the mickey out of him because his rig is always more sophisticated than mine, and he always has a delay and a reverb in the effects loop of his amp, which I don't. So yeah. Yeah, with the Strat, it was just spot on. Now that Strat, as you heard there, was a little bit, you know, it wasn't set up for my taste. It was a little bit difficult for me, and that's just a great excuse for my playing. But I think we're going to plug a fuzz in it at some point. But yeah, I kept going back to this amp. So if you're looking for a Marshall style and you're looking at divided by 13, this is the one you're looking at. And its master volume is as good as most others. It can get pretty quiet, very quiet. So yeah, really great. Okay, it's time to do the giveaway, which I promised to do in this video. Sorry, it's been a couple of weeks. It's been a busy time and editing this has taken me quite a while. So yeah, the winner of the Focus Fuzz Deluxe, you're going to see a screen recording come up where I put the URL of that YouTube video in a website and it will pick out a comment at random. So here it is. Okay, congratulations to that person. I haven't actually seen who it is because I am yet to do that screen recording, but the name will have been up on the screen. All you need to do, whoever won, is email me. I'll put an email address in the description and then we'll sort out David at Great Eastern Effects shipping you one. So yeah, congrats to you. It's a fantastic pedal. Right, okay, back to the video. Okay, 2 channels, pull and push on this, well, push on this one, we're out. You can see the rest. Full power, the way it should be. On. We've got no guitar. I'll get the strap started. Okay, what is this amp? I think this is an American style amp. Fullerton, yeah, FTR, Fullertron.
Well, that was 110 dB.
Okay, maybe half power. Yeah, why would? Of course, you'd have a half power switch on something like that. It's for safety. Oh yeah. Anything for me is this is like if you've got a 2-Rock Classic reverb. They're not the same, but they are the same. This needs tuning again. I'm sorry. Even my unmusical ears get to bleed. This is one of those guitars that sounds out of tune even when it's in tune. Sorry, Mr. Perry. These amps are brutal. I'm sorry. This is so much more brutal than a classic reverb because that sort of envelops you in a feeling that even if you can't make the sound nice, it will make the sound nice. And this one. This may not be the best advert for this brand, but it sort of is. Like, don't build your chops on this amp, I suspect. Wait till you've got the chops. I love American style amps. I've got an old Super Reverb, I've got old Bassman, you know, the 2-Rock stuff. But this is like taking the volume at 3 on those and that difficulty level, you know what I mean? And then making it like that. I like it, I prefer
Bloody
this.
loud, isn't it?
That was a bit of a shock. I was saying, why someone got it on half power? So I put it on full. And then it was like,
that's
That's why.
yeah.
There's no, I can't think of any circumstance that you'd even be able to get half on that. Like even Wembley, you wouldn't want it.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like even in old school world, it's loud.
Lemmy would put his fingers in his ears.
That's
wouldn't
I wasn't messing about with.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Maybe it's a mount, Steve mount.
It sounds good though.
It's not, it's
Very
very
nice. They've all sounded. You know they're all going to be.
They all sound great, yeah. But this one's very different.
Just it was a toilet. Thank you very much, sir.
Right, let's plug something else in. Right, one last try on this American style amp. It's really lovely. It's very stratty. Oh, I should say though, we're plugged into a fuzz pedal and I'm rolled quite far down, but if I'm not. Do you ever get that feeling of self-consciousness in a guitar shop when you turn up? Yeah. It's a very pretty amp, really nice, but I suspect if I plug this exact setup into the one above it again in a sec, it'll be even. Leave that unsaid.
I'm inclined to agree with you. As much, I think that sounds great. Honestly.
Okay, we're back in. What are they called? Isn't this part of the problem? The black one with the white. Oh no, some of the other ones have got that as well. Okay, this one. I don't know what it's called.
The Marshally one.
Yeah, the Marshally one. Or is it Voxy? It's something 60s to 80s British. No, we know. It's Marshally. That feels so authentically like that Marshall era, 60s to 80s. No, I mean, like the proper vintagey Hendrixy style for me with a Strat. I love it. I like that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the Fullerton one, the FTR, the American sounding one with the reverb. Absolutely gorgeous amp. If I didn't have, as I said, lots of that style, I would definitely want that amp. In fact, so far I want all of these amps. So yeah, but it does what you expect of it. It's cool to have that half power switch on there because it was brutally loud. It doesn't have a master volume, and so you know that's an issue with that. But it just does that very sort of slightly sparkly bell-like Fender-y thing. But again, it's very divided by 13. It's a bit brutal, but it means that you stand right out. So I think if you're looking for the ultimate American style amp, I mean, it's more authentically Fullerton sounding than a Two Rock, which has more of its own thing. You know, there's a sort of hardness to the divided by 13, which reminds me of my Super Reverb. So, yeah, really recommend that one if you're looking for that style. Okay, we'll move. Oh, I was using a Isle of Tone Hayes 67 at the end of those with both of those amps, which I think you'll probably hear again as well. We're going to move on to a different amp now, one that I don't understand. Well, another one that I don't understand. On. Okay, we're in the.
Hang on. This isn't.
It's still on. It's still on.
It's all right.
Okay, we are in the Vox over there in the corner. So look, I'll be honest with you, this particular amp is really not in my wheelhouse whatsoever. From what I can gather, this is really based on the sort of high watt, very clean sort of thing, but I can't quite understand on the divided by 13 website. It makes it sound like it's encompassing all of the main British sounds, the Vox, the Marshall, and the high watt. But I'll be honest with you, this will be the shortest section of the video. I tried this amp out, I don't get on with it. It's a bit sophisticated for me. But if you're more interested in things that are not your classic Fender or your classic Marshall tones, then this might be one that you're really interested in. But for me, yeah, it goes over my head a little bit. Anyway, I have a little play around with it, but I apologise if this is the one you were looking to get more info about, really. But on the other hand, if you're like me and you're really more into the other things that I just talked about, then this might help prove to you that you don't need to look at this amp. So, yeah. Vox-alike, I suppose. But we set it in a way that we think, I'm not a Voxy person, so I don't know what to do with them. So we set it so it doesn't sound like that as much as possible. Okay. Right. But it's not turned on anymore.
Don't forget to pull the boost at some point.
Oh yeah. Let's turn the fuzz off, shall we? Right, apparently this amp likes chords. I know this one. Hang on a minute. One. has that cutting sort of. I feel that harmonic content. What are those tubes in there, do you know?
I don't know what's in this.
It feels like an EL sort of a thing. Just trying to get acquainted with it, really. It just makes me feel a bit out of my comfort zone. It's not my cup of tea.
It's KT88,
Oh, it's even less likely to.
which is.
Right, let's put this in the other. Oh, hang on a minute, there's a pull thing here, which we think is a mid or upper mid boost, maybe. Just a boost. It doesn't really matter what it's doing. Sounds good. It's pretty good, isn't it? That.
In my life,
Yeah.
with the other stuff I have, that and a combo is what I would buy.
No, it was.
Because I'd like that just sat around, or straight. Just
It's
I need to play a
It's
bit.
really
and not mess
visceral. It feels old. Very nice. Let's get a Strat on, shall we? Thank you very much, sir. That's roughly bedroom volume, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
That's like headphone volume.
No, I play around. My room is always at about 110 decibels, which is why I'm steadily losing my
Which is
hearing.
mental as well.
What?
That is.
Yeah, exactly. What? Huh? Okay. Was there one more? There's one more out. No.
That's
All of those.
that's the fine selection.
Okay.
Do you want to just do a clip with P90s as well?
Yeah, but also if we remember my clip with this first
We've
album.
got to redo that. So yeah.
Are you allowed to play a Huber in the Gibson room?
Who cares?
Do it at your own risk. What if John walks in? Right. Oof. Blimey. Is that really loud? Very nice pickups in here. Well, these are Fraylins, aren't they? Sorry, no. Wait.
Absolute sod.
This is Mr. Sunbear,
Hello.
the Thomas Pynchon of humbucker makers. Very sweet pickups, very, very sweet. Well, not a sweet amp as such, but it's got a lot of warmth to it, doesn't it? And let's make it worse. Oh, God. It's one of those amps you just keep noodling. It's lovely. It's really nice. Okay. Sadly, I have to turn it off. Okay, this is the tweediest of the amps here, and I think it's the most friendly one. You know, it's got a master volume, it has the warmth and bloom of a tweed, it still has that versatility, changing the tubes between 6V6 and EL84, so you can get different power outputs, but also slightly different sort of tonal output. This is the one that if you're looking, for me, if you're looking for a combo or something, a comfortable combo that's really useful in different settings, different scenarios, living room, studio, even live, this would be the first one I'd look at. You know, it's probably the most everyman of the amps here. I didn't get to try their other one, Tweedy one, which I think is called something like CCJ or something like that. That was the one amp I didn't get to try. But yeah, I really like this amp. Now, this guitar, this is the Greeny Burst, you know, the one that cost like 18, 19 grand. Not the 50 grand one that was like really super limited edition, but even these ones, they're only producing a few a year now apparently because the tops are very difficult to pick out. But it sort of saddened me because it was a really brilliant guitar, And I've played a lot of the Murphy Lab 7, 8, 9, 10 grand ones that just aren't anywhere near as good as this. And I thought, why? There's still a hell of a lot of money. Why is every guitar that's at least custom shop at Gibson not coming out with this level of, you know, feeling like a proper old guitar? Saying that, a lot of you who love Gibson may not have sort of bought into the sort of small maker market that I love now, you know, sort of like Giordano, Springer, Iverson, all of those guys. Murphy Lab aging now looks a bit cartoonish to me. You know, I think yeah, it doesn't look right. So even this one up close didn't really look right. Something not right. Whereas you get someone like Nico Giordano, who I've got a couple of guitars from. Obviously, they can spend a lot longer on each guitar aging it, and it just looks exactly like ones and feels exactly like ones I've seen and felt and played in vintage guitar shops. So this Greeny was an interesting one to play. The pickup set here is really nice. Stuart, who was with me from Sun Bear Pickups, you know, who you hear me talk about a lot, he makes some of my favourite ever pickups. And he's, you know, he often buys pickups from other people like Gibson and other makers to try them, look at them and stuff. Obviously, that's part of his job. And he says, you know, these are definitely Gibson's. This Greeny set is the best set of pickups they've put out in a very long time. They really are doing something pretty authentic here. So yeah, but they're very expensive. I think you can get not the set that's exactly in here that's very historically made. Again, Gibson holding us all over a barrel to just give us the guitars that we should be getting even at the much lower price points of non-custom shops, you know what I mean? But that's just not reality. Not every piece of wood and everything can make a guitar that just sounds great at every point on the fretboard. Didn't have any low wallow that so many of their guitars have. Didn't have any overshrill brightness that so many of their guitars have. So not saying I would buy this even if I had 20 grand in my pocket, because, you know, I might not. But it was very good. I also got to play an Eric Clapton signature while I was there, which I didn't make any recordings with. That was also really nice. So, you know, some of the very high-end stuff at Gibson is being done really well. It's just sad that it doesn't really trickle down as much as it should to the rest of it. Okay, we are on the massive combo with a massive voice and a tiny wattage. Like many of us, sadly, the power part of us is missing. This is, oh, you guys didn't hear it at the beginning because I forgot to record, but this is a brutal. Bloody hell. This JRT is such a special amp. It's probably the one I've been thinking about most. That and the AMW, the Marshall-y sort of one. I mean, in honesty, I would buy the JRT, the AMW, the Triple C. They would all give something completely different. And if I didn't already have enough Fullerton stuff, I would buy the FTR, FRT, the American-y one with the reverb. But yeah, I came back to this amp to record it again. Luckily, the clips were okay, as you've seen from the earlier one that I'd forgotten to use the mic, but I had to come back to it and use the Strat, and it's brutal. It's not easy to play. It's not helping you along. There's very little saturation, but it just sounds fantastic. And I can see why so many pros use Divide by 13, because they can get these sounds out of them, which, you know, they cut through. They're just really cutting in the room, but in a good way. There's not a bad sound to be had. I'm waffling. It's been a very long editing process. I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. So, but we'll just listen to a bit more of me mucking about with this and this very nice Strat. It's such a glorious sounding thing, but it is It makes you feel like shit. I think it's the best sounding of the lot though. It's got this on the edge sort of like, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's got no saturation almost whatsoever, no sustain, but like it has that. So clear. Percussive, that's the right word. Let's turn the fuzz up. Oh, I see, the guitar was only on 4 there.
Reminds me of one of those cars. Scared to put your foot down in.
Let's turn it down a bit because it's
Unfeasibly loud.
yeah, it's got 2 volumes. I don't know what either of them does, but they both make it louder. Stuart turning it down for me, thank you. So let's turn that fuzz off again. That is wicked, brutal, very cool. I'm in the bridge. I can't think what this amp is similar to otherwise. Sounds more like a Fender than anything, but it doesn't feel exactly like one. Right, I'm in the EL84 thing. Definitely get more top frequency.
What you just
Yeah.
said out there, that's very Band of Gypsies.
It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Really
I really
nice.
like it.
Yeah, with the fuzz, it was ferocious.
Yeah, like we were out there literally going, this is like 3.1.
Yeah. Damn, that is good.
I like the character of that.
Okay, look, this has been one of those very long videos that I hope some of you have really enjoyed watching. I often sit back and enjoy watching this sort of casual thing on YouTube. And I tried to do it in a way where you could see the differences in the amps in a way that is not too prescriptive, not too demo-y. It's like a sort of, you've walked into a shop and you're trying to figure out if you want one of these amps, which one will suit you. And I had to go through that process myself with different guitars and sort of chatting about it. And I've cut out so much stuff, unfortunately, just because it was getting way too long. But ultimately, I went there thinking, why have I not seen these flying off the shelves? Like, there've been quite a few of them on the website for months, and I know it's the economic downturn and everything like that, the uncertainty about the future. But also, I think if you search on YouTube for videos about Divided by 13, there's just not a lot of great content out there, not a lot of in-depth stuff, and stuff that's recent. And I think the amount, if you go on their website, Divided by 13, and look at the artists section, the amount of artists that use this really tells you something. That these amps are very professional sounding. They're not the easiest to play. They haven't got all of the user stuff that you see on some other amps because they're very pure sounds. Like, these amps just sound great. We were sitting there talking a lot about, like, every time we'd play an amp for the first time with a type of different guitar, we'd go, whoa, oh man, that sounds great. And not every amp can do that. But they are pretty loud. Some of them have master volume, some of them don't, but they are pretty loud. Only the American one has the reverb. I will say in their favor that I didn't always love amps without reverb, although I've got more used to it recently, playing a lot more Marshall stuff and not kicking in a reverb pedal. So I was less out of my comfort zone than I used to be. But there's so much harmonic content, so much great stuff with these amps. You don't really miss it, but putting it there would be great. I mean, the Marshall Type 1 does have an effects loop. What could I say? When you see Divided by 13 on someone's back panel on a YouTube video, you normally see that they don't have one, they have 2 or 3. And it's because actually I could replace all my American Type 1s with the American one. I could replace the 2 Friedmans with the AMW. I could happily have a triple C sitting here as a combo, giving me something that's really raucous and tweedy. I'd love to compare it to my Bartell. They're quite different. I think the Divided by 13 is more rock and roll, if I'm honest. And then the unusualist one, out of the ones I like, the JRT, just great thing that. And you get a real moment of satisfaction if you manage to make a great sound out of it, which I didn't often. But the amp still impressed me so much because although there's not much sustain there and it's very loud, it was glorious. I would definitely have one of those with an attenuator, or with something like my Vemiram Jam Ray with the gain on almost nothing and using the volume to turn the volume. You can use that to attenuate an amp like this. But Divided by 13 are very special. I really hope they're here to stay at Peach, being their dealer, and that when times come up a bit, economically, that Peach, that it pays off for them taking a punt on having so many of these. I must say thanks to John at Peach and George, who looked after us that day, and everyone there, actually really friendly. And I filmed there several times before, so they know me well, and I went to NAMM with John. But still, to let me take over the Gibson custom room for over half a day, bring out all those amps, thank you. Like with every guitar shop, I'm sure that there are reasonably tougher times now than there were during, the times in the pandemic when we could all just buy guitars left, right, and centre. But John's different brands that he has there, man, if you're into all the stuff that I know a lot of you watching, all the boutique stuff, the Novos and the 2 Rocks and the Divided by 13s, but he's got all sorts of crazy stuff there and different rooms that you can go and have fun. It's a bit of a Disneyland for guitar lovers, really, Peach. So I highly recommend a trip there. I often get asked by American and Canadian, especially people coming over for holidays who love guitar, if I could go to one shop around the London area, which one should I go to? And I would definitely say Peach, because although I love Coda, I love the guys there, I go there a lot and I use it a lot. It's not as big, it's not as spacious and easy to sort of look around, and there's obviously less stuff there, but they have great stuff. Anderton's is a different ball game altogether. I've only been there a couple of times, but it's not as user-friendly for me. There's often so many people in there. But with Peach, you tend to have to make an appointment and go there, and it's a massive place. And they have so many great things there. They have a whole set of Dr. Z amps, and they'll have a whole set of Friedman amps, and they have a huge acoustic guitar room and a huge, there'll be a room just of Taylors. They've got this new collector's vault, which has some of John's vintage guitars, and then he puts through some of the stuff that's like, say, the Eric Clapton signature and things like that. will live in there. He may not even, he may keep one of those to not sell it for a long time. I've noticed that not all the guitars I played are up on their website. John's a real guitar lover, you know, and everyone there. So anyway, enough about that. I hope this video helped you to understand what these amps are. They are fantastic, as you'd expect. They're not super expensive, they're not cheap. They're in that boutique range, they're in a happy place because they're much cheaper than Two Rocks. And if I'm honest with you, if you were looking at a studio signature from Two Rock, which may be the same price as one of these, I'd pick one of these instead. I would definitely try the FTR. Obviously the Two Rock, the studio signature, is going to have that bit more Two Rock flavour to it, which is different from your classic, very scooped American sound. If you're looking at British amps, they've got you covered, right? They've got the very Marshall thing with the AMW, and then they've got more esoteric stuff with that BTR, the one that's got the KT88s, which you can definitely do the more voxy stuff and the high watt clean stuff, the David Gilmour things that I'm really not into. And then you've got your wild cards. You've got this JRT, which is just a complete wacko crazy thing. I mean, you know, if I was in another life and playing medium-sized gigs and it was all rock and roll, that would be my amp. You know, it's just so awesome. The Triple C is a lovely take on a Fender, on a Tweedy sort of thing, Tweedy brown sound, brown face Fender sort of sound as well. Yeah, they're pure. They sound wicked. So you will definitely see some in this room soon. I need to sell a few things. And lastly, before I go, I've just finished making, if some of you who watch the channel know that I make my own guitars, I've just started really making them properly to sell. This is one of the ones I've just finished pretty much making. Last bits of setup to do, and you'll see some clips soon. But it's basically a late 50s type. It's got Sunbear pickups in, but I can change them for different flavors of Sunbear depending on what someone wants. So it's got the single ply white guard. It's an ash body with this sort of chocolatey two-tone where it's almost three-tone. It's a sort of medium heavy relic, lots of lacquer checking. The neck is quite dark and aged looking. You know, I've gone for that vibe. It's a 9.5-inch radius, not a 7 1/4, so a bit more user friendly for most people. It's not a very deep neck, but it's definitely got some fatness to it. So, and you know, you can ask me for specific measurements if you like. But I'll get some clips up soon if anyone's interested, and I'm going to be selling these for around £2,500. So if you're interested in a gorgeous, I hope you find it gorgeous, guitar like this, obviously all nitro or relic, lacquer checked, then let me know. Right, I hope you enjoyed this mammoth video, and if you got to the end here, you're now going to see just a last set of clips with us playing around with the volume on the JRT to see how quiet it can get and what it feels like when it's quiet. And it's surprised us. So I hope you enjoy that. All right. Oh, and if you have enjoyed this, please give the video a thumbs up. This has been a mammoth effort, and subscribe to the channel to see more content, well, about all guitar and amp and stuff, you know. Right, let's get this going to the lowest volume it can go. I'll show you afterwards. The thing is, it does feel and sound pretty much the same. What the hell? What was that?
So the tone switch works better when it's quieter.
Ah. Oh yeah.
That was doing nothing when it was loud. Still that whole way. Fuzz through it a little bit.
It's quite magical with fuzz.
It's caning it. I really like that.
Totally.
Like a song.
Yeah.
That's an amp that still sounds cool with a fuzz pedal at low volume.
any cabinets that would suit this, I don't think.
Put a Alnico in that 112 you've got.
It's closed back. I don't like closed back.
Cut the back off.
I can cut the back.
If it's a Zilla, it might have a panel over the back, so a lot of them are convertible.
What cab is it?
It's just a Fat Boy Zilla thing with a Celeste.
You got it in a trade.
Are they all panels?
Most of them are. Most of them have like an.
See, it's still got that.
Really interesting. Really, really interesting.
It's a lot more approachable at this point.
It's a violent amp, but a good volume. That's nice.
As they all are.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about it is that it just doesn't compress that much.
No, it doesn't. Which is great for fuzz though, in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're getting that sort of caving in thing, but not.
All me.
Doesn't give. Yeah.
That's what's great about it though. Like you say, with a fuzz, it's really. Like you said, with a fuzz, it's very Hendrixy. I think just because it sounds like a really raw amp with a fuzz whacking it in the face.
Yeah.
Very little else.
Yeah, because I think the JTM 45-100 probably was super hard.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Something to think about for sure.
It's a really cool sounding amp.